Hello. Um, so a bit of a different video, right? There's a lot more light around me, and I probably look a bit different. I'm making this because I just got back from my wisdom teeth appointment where they looked at my x-rays and gave me the rundown, and it's bad. um, so in the other video where I talked about how my wisdom teeth were coming in sideways instead of up, um, my bottom two are coming in sideways, so sideways that they've begun to dig into my molars, and my one tooth on my left side, my molar is completely eroded. The bottom of it is pretty much almost all gone, including the bone. So I'm going to get surgery this upcoming Valentine's Day at 7 a.m. I'm getting my antibiotics tonight. And then, yeah, surgery at 7 on Valentine's Day. Yippee, can't wait. Pretty much, they're taking out my wisdom teeth. They aren't taking out my molars. They said that further down the line, I may have to get my molars out as well. But they are doing a bone graft. So they're taking cow bone, and they're throwing it in my mouth, right where my wisdom teeth are. So hopefully I don't lose my molars. But yeah, this is an eventful day. It's Sorry, I just had Arby's. It's gonna be pretty cool. I don't know. I'm not nervous. I just kind of expected something like this because when I saw the dentist and when he pulled up the X-rays, I was like, oh, that's not good. Now, of course, I may die, but that is a sacrifice I am willing to make because I have a higher chance. That's all it is. Because it's a longer surgery and they're doing more stuff inside my mouth. So infection-wise, I may get a mouth infection and it'll leak into my bloodstream and get into my brain and kill me. But that's besides the point. Yeah, I just want to knock that out of the park. Just so I could remember everything and tell you guys. So if no video uploads after Wednesday, I kicked it. I don't know. I'm joking, guys. We're joking, okay? We're partially joking. We're joking to keep the spirits up. But yeah. In other news, I played D&D yesterday, more specifically Pathfinder 2nd Edition for the first time. I did it with my brother and his 3 other friends. My brother was the GM, and I didn't have a character made, so I showed up like 5 hours earlier, and we theory crafted a character. I ended up becoming Stench the Gnome. So this campaign is set in a steampunky, dark universe, kind of like Bloodborne almost. And the main party was on a ship. They were on an icebreaker, and they're heading to the Agony Isles to find this one crazed doctor or something. This one MacGuffin that they need. And so I was like, okay, they're on an icebreaker ship. So what if my character is like a gnome who works in the boiler room of said ship, right? So I made this character named Stench, and he's constantly dirty. He's just covered in like coal dust and everything that comes with working in a boiler room. He's smelly. He's this small, really buff gnome because he's constantly shoveling like coal and lifting pipes and stuff. So super buff. He had no clothes on, or maybe he had pants on, like shorts, when he was introduced to the party, but he's my gnomish character. He has a wrench, And the wrench, it's a magic wrench. It's a relic item. And the wrench's name is Wench. Wench, the wrench, owned by Stench. I tried to make it all rhyme, but he is a kineticist. So he's like he's a firebender, and he also dabbles in airbending. And his magic wrench has a spell. He has like a water elemental in his wrench, and he can use it like a whip. But instead of like a whip, it's like water. So it's like a water whip, and he can be like, and he's also a sailor. So I don't really know what kind of character he is yet. Just because I created him before the campaign, so I still have to figure out his voice. I'm thinking about something kind of deep. I kind of went with something like this when I was playing him. Not like that, louder, but kind of like grumbly. His eyes are like super far apart and like almost looking, either way instead of straight. They're looking like that. And he's a small dude. And what happens, how he gets introduced to the party, everyone else, is the ship is under attack by a whale. Sorry. The ship is under attack by a bilge whale. So it's this cancerous whale that the captain, it's kind of like a Moby Dick situation where the captain is obsessed with this whale. And so the whale ends up like killing most of the crew. So they grab Stench out of the boiler room. And Stench, waddles on up. He just has his wrench and a pair of pants on, and he's completely covered in coal dust, and he gets to the top. And he kind of walks around. He doesn't do much, right? I want to make him like a rat. He's like a little thief. That's what I want his character to be. So he's like a gambler. That's how he got his magic wrench, was he got it through gambling, but he did it with loaded dice. So the backstory is that there was a dwarven engineer who was touring the ship before she set off, because it's a new ship. So this dwarven engineer was making sure everything was okay, and he insulted Stench by saying that the boiler room wasn't efficient. Stench loves the boiler room. He pushes coal all day. That's his life. That's his dream. And so when that happened, Stench wanted a little bit of revenge, right? So he gambled against the dwarven engineer. My boiler room for your wrench. And since Stench always carries a pair of loaded dice, he won. So that's how he got his magic wrench. But he ends up on the top of the ship. And I built him as a wrestler. So he's a kineticist with a archetype in wrestling, so he can suplex, and I also made it so he has quick jump and powerful leap. So jumping, instead of costing 2 actions, only costs 1 action, and I can jump a max of 15 feet. So my vertical is up by 5 feet. So he ends up on the side of the ship, and the whale is like right here, just inside of the 15 feet range. So he powerful leaps off the ship onto the whale. 1 action. He attacks the whale, who at this point we don't know how much health they have left. They've just been fighting the whale for a while. He got a couple cannon shots, right? He attacks the whale with a wrench. I land a crit. And so I roll again. I end up doing like 14 damage or something. And my brother is like, well, the whale only had 4 health left. So you land a critical success. So the way I described Stench killing the whale is he goes over to the blowpipe, the blowhole, he grabs his wrench, and he just repetitively just stabs it in, like twists it around, like just like absolutely disgusting. And when he pulls his wrench out, it's like a fountain of blood that just comes spoiling out of this whale, and it covers him, it covers his wrench. And that's only 2 actions so far. So my last action is I powerfully leap back onto the ship in front of everybody. So this is the first introduction. This is their first interaction with this guy. He's this short Mario jumping dude who kills a whale with a wrench and gets back on the ship. No biggie. And because he's like a non-verbal kind of guy, everything he does is just kind of like dead face, like no kind of deal. So he intimidates the captain, The party asks if he wants to join, so he does. He gets a free pair of boots out of it that he wears around his neck as pockets. It was a really funny, interesting time. I'm excited to see where the story goes and where Stench goes. I have to still come up with a few things about him. But then next Sunday, or this Sunday, is another campaign. It's my brother's friend who's in charge of the other campaign, so I'm gonna make a character for that. I'm thinking I kind of want to go with my original idea of like an orc druid, but we'll tap on that later. I hope this video was nice, and I hope it didn't scare too many of you. I'm probably gonna name it something like "I'm Dying ASMR" because that'll be good clickbait. But I will see you guys later. Goodbye.